Hey everyone, tonight I'm doing a Scotch review. I'm reviewing DEWAR's White Label Blended Scotch Whiskey. This is the flagship bottle. Well, this is a little sample I got, but this is the flagship bottle of John Dewar's and Sons DEWAR's Blended Scotch Whiskey. There are more expensive and I assume better bottles going up the ladder, aged, I've seen, 12, 15 years. There's different bottles, but this particular flagship white label and Dewar's in general, I believe, is one of the top-selling scotches in the U.S., if not the top, probably neck and neck with Johnnie Walker. Now, previously, I have reviewed of scotches, which I am no expert in, and honestly, it's not really my preference. I like bourbon, obviously, particularly much, and you've seen from all my reviews, but I like mixing it up a little bit and sometimes doing some scotch reviews. I did review Johnnie Walker Black. I did review Chivas Regal. And I figured to give this. I used to have actually a bottle of this, which was sitting around, I think, forever. And another one of those examples that even if it's open, this doesn't change the taste profile whatsoever. It can stay around forever. But anyway, this is 80 proof. As with scotches in general, it's, I believe, 100% malted barley. It is a blended Scotch whiskey. It is on the more inexpensive side. As I said, some of the other bottles are more expensive as they go up. There actually is one of this I do want to try. There's a Caribbean, kind of a Caribbean rum version of this. I'm kind of curious too, and it's not very pricey either. But I think I've seen this on many, planes, trains. Anytime you're ever if you're on a flight looking at different bottles to order on a plane, always seen this is very popular. So I'm gonna pour this up and I'm gonna see what I think of it. All right, we have this all poured up, and if you notice, it's kind of a light color. I know that some bourbons that I see generally on average a little darker. Now, this I don't want to generalize, but just in general with bourbons, the requirement is that they be aged in new charred oak American barrels. Scotch doesn't have that same requirement. I don't want to generalize, but often when you're using a new barrel, that tends to will make the color of the whiskey darker. Whereas if you're using barrels that have aged previous whiskeys before, they tend to be lighter. So I want to generalize, but that's just something that tends to happen. In any event, this is a light color. Let's give this a nose. Wow, that is a very, very light scent, almost lemony, but very light fragrance. So let's give this a taste. Cheers. Yeah, well, I kind of see why these types of blended scotches aren't my favorite. This has now not all scotches have a really heavy peatiness and a smokiness. This one does. And again, I would think if I went up the ladder and went to the 15-year or 18-year more, maybe that would taste different. But there is definitely a prominent smokiness, peatiness to this. That's just me personally. I prefer more like the sweetness of a bourbon. I'll give this one more taste. Yeah, it's definitely there. It's kind of thin, very light. Again, this is a relatively inexpensive blended Scotch whiskey. You'll see this at every store. On a plane, a train, wherever they sell, any kind of drinks is very popular. But again, it's not expensive, and there are many people who like this. But it's just for me personally, I'd be curious to try some of their brands that are aged longer. There is one I do want to try. I happen to also like rum. There is a Caribbean rum cask bottle of this. I forgot exactly what it's called, but it definitely has the word Caribbean in it, which automatically gets me interested. So just wanted to try it. So basically, we've tried a few scotches. What I would like to say before I end this video is Scotch is one of those things that I really did like in one instance prior to even liking bourbon. That was where I tried. I think it was Macallan 15. I think it was Macallan 15. It was Macallan 18. I was at a function and I tasted that, and that I actually really liked. I think that's actually what got me into just whiskey in general. Even though I don't drink Scotch, that's a I think a single malt Scotch. That was very good. And then I transitioned to whiskey such as Jack Daniels, and then ultimately bourbon. So in a sense, the journey did start with Macallan 15, and but in general, no, Scotch isn't really my thing. but I like to mix it up once in a while, and we definitely will finish this. Have a good night, everybody.